How is it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So we just got a trailer for a brand new dinosaur documentary simply called The Dinosaurs. This will be released on Netflix. It's done by the same folks who did Life on Our Planet and Our Planet, and it's also being narrated by Morgan Freeman. So as far as I could tell, this is basically in the Life on Our Planet cinematic universe, you know? It's a pretty cool surprise. I wasn't expecting a documentary like this, and so I'm really excited to go through this trailer and kind of talk about each individual thing. I've already watched the trailer on my own, so this is not a reaction video. So if you want to see the trailer first before watching me talk about it, the link is down below. Go and do that, and then come back, and then we can talk about the trailer, because I'm going to be pausing a lot, and I know that some people find that annoying. But yeah, so let's just get right into the trailer. So first of all, we have old Spinosaurus aegypticus. This is cool. Like, it's obviously Spinosaurus. I'm never going to complain about the inclusion of Spinosaurus, but what I really like is the inclusion of lips. Not a lot of people really know this, but there is still a good chance that Spinosaurids had oral tissue. Their skulls are still built for it, to the point where, yeah, it is still very much a possibility. And it looks like it's really putting its pressure sensors to good use by just putting the tip of its snout into the water as a shark approaches. And there we go. And now we get like the beauty shot of the Spinosaurus. It's a good design. I like it. Again, the inclusion of lips is awesome. You don't really see lips on Spinosaurids too frequently in media, so this is a nice breath of fresh air in that department. It does have its crest, of course. It's got the long, thin neck. It has the sail, which is more of like a half circle right here, and it does have the basilisk-like tail, as well as its huge arms. I love the colors, too. I think I see some hints of like orange or yellow with some black stripes here and there. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I like it, and I like how it's just hanging out in relatively shallow waters, it's pretty possible that that's how Spinosaurus spent its time, you know. Pretty nice shot. You know, I like the fact that it's kind of silhouetted over here. I like it. It's a good start to the trailer. And I just like the way that the tail looks. Like, it looks like it's set up as a display structure. We can get rid of the captions. It looks like it's set up like a display structure, a lot like a basilisk lizard. Basilisk lizards and Spinosaurus, they kind of share similar tails, and so there's a good chance that Spinosaurus used its tail in a similar fashion, that mostly just being for display purposes. And we have eyeballs. We get eyeballs of different dinosaurs. We got a feathered dinosaur here. Feathers are always fantastic to see. Obviously, a lot of dinosaurs were feathered. We got like more of a reptilian eyeball. I'm not too sure if this is a dinosaur, but it very much could be. I know there's quite a few non-dinosaurs in this trailer. That is interesting. That might be Tyrannus, because I think Tyrannus is in this trailer. We'll talk more about that later. Little baby Admonosaurs. So one of the things that I'm pretty excited about is the fact that the Admonosaurus got a redesign. In Life on Our Planet, the Admonosaurus was basically just, like, its model was basically just a tweaked Maiasaura model, so it didn't look a lot like Admonosaurus. It looks like they've changed the model quite a bit here. So the babies look good. I like the way that they look with their reduced proportions, large eyes. They don't have much of a fleshy comb or anything like that. They look good. I like their nests. Their nests made out of like mud and dirt and all that. I don't know what this fella is, but it looks like it has a little bit of a sail back here. So I wonder what it's gonna be. I wonder. I'm curious about that. Oh, I believe that is hyper. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me pull it up. This kind of looks like it might be Hyperodopeodon. Hyperodopeodon, something like that. If it is that, it is a Triassic reptile, which that starts off fantastically. Obviously, I think we're seeing basically the whole story of the dinosaurs in this documentary, starting from the Triassic and ending in the Cretaceous. The Triassic is something I'm very excited to see, because the Triassic doesn't have a lot of representation in the media. So if this is that hyper reptile, the name that I can't pronounce right now because I have to repeat it several times in my head, then this is obviously in the Triassic, and there are Triassic dinosaurs in this. So this guy's not a dinosaur, but it is a Triassic animal. Eggs, you know. So that's pretty cool. We got what's most likely Quetzalcoatlus over here, Alamosaurus over here, and Ankylosaurus right here. In fact, my face is kind of blocking things, so I apologize. But yeah, there's like an Alamosaurus right here, Ankylosaurus, a herd of Admonosaurs, some Triceratops over here, Obviously, this is North America, likely more down south, given the fact that Alamosaurus is present. Everything looks cool. I like the way that this Quetzalcoatlus looks, this assumed Quetzalcoatlus. I guess it could also be Inferno Draken, but most likely it's Quetzalcoatlus with its crest and its nice red coloration right there. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, see, this looks a lot like their Plateosaurus design from Life on Our Planet, so I'm gonna safely say that this is Plateosaurus. Again, it looks a lot like Plateosaurus. The head shape seems to match up, and the whole body proportions, the shape of it looks a lot like Plateosaurus. Again, I'm so glad that we're getting some Triassic screen time here, and I hope that we actually get a decent amount of screen time. I don't know how this documentary is going to be structured at all. Life on Our Planet, they advertised it like you were mostly going to be seeing like CGI dinosaurs and stuff like that. But then when the actual documentary released, they cut back and forth between like modern day footage and then dinosaurs. And like the dinosaurs and other extinct creatures, like some of the Permian creatures, they only took up such a small amount of the screen time that it kind of felt like the trailers weren't really too honest at the end of the day. I don't know if that's what this documentary is going to do. So I'm certainly going to be cautious going into it. I'm not going to expect Prehistoric Planet out of this because you know how Prehistoric Planet, you get nothing but the CGI animals. I'm not going to expect that. I mean, like, I'm hoping that it's not the case that we switch back and forth between modern day. I don't know. I mean, because like in this case, there's no modern day footage at all. So I guess it's possible that we're just getting a CGI documentary. That's the hope anyway. But yeah, Plateosaurus is going to be in it. I'm excited about that. This looks a lot like the beautiful Dilophosaurus in very nice sort of like swampy environment. I like the way that it looks. It's got like the slender build of Dilophosaurus. It's very elongated. It's got a nice kind of developed crest with a striking red coloration that is in nice contrast to its blue coloration. And it's like howling. The howling kind of sounds like the iguanodon from Disney's Dinosaur, like Aladars. Listen to this. See, that's what it sounded like to me. I don't know if it sounded like that to you, but it sounded like that to me. Oops, wrong button. It just... That's what it sounds like to me. I think we're getting like a little bit of a display thing from the male right here. I assume it's the male because it's got like brighter colors going off of a lot of bird logic. This is kind of dull. One over here is likely the female. And again, this environment's very nice. So far things are looking pretty good. T-Rex. So it doesn't seem like they changed up the model really at all of the T-Rex from Life on Our Planet. Like it looks like it has a ton of tiny needle teeth at the front of its mouth, which is not something I'm a big fan of. Plus the post-orbital and the lacrimal horns are really not too developed. Of course, this is most likely a female. Maybe they changed it up on the male a little bit. You can see a little baby T-Rex back there as well, and what looks like a dead Ankylosaurus, which is likely something we'll talk a little bit more about as the trailer goes on, because there's a specific shot that I think is very interesting. Yeah, there's all the little babies. All little babies with their very thin proportions. I don't think we have any hatchling tyrannosaurs, so most of this would be, at least none of them that are confirmed per se. So this would likely mostly be speculative. They look good though. They look good with their little downy feathers. It's very nice. It's very nice. I assume that this is going to be in the Yixian formation, so that I'm not too sure which sauropods would show up there, but it's always really cool to see dinosaurs show up in cold environments, because people don't really think about dinosaurs in cold environments, despite the fact that it very much did happen. A lot of people are under the impression that dinosaurs were completely cold-blooded simply because they were reptiles, and it's not really too accurate. Obviously, it seems like most, if not all, dinosaurs were more so on the warm-blooded side. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That might be the female Dilophosaurus that we saw earlier, or maybe it's like Dracovenator or something. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like a cauda pterosaur here. There's like quite a few pterosaurs kind of flying about, and some type of reptile right here. Oh, and by the way, you know, if you guys want to be a part of the discussion, if you have like any ideas, or if you actually know what some of these creatures are, be sure to let me know. Some of them certainly do have some fairly interesting designs. Now that, again, that could very well be the female Dilophosaur, but it could also be another early Jurassic theropod, like possibly Dracovenator. We'll see. Look at that foot. Look at that bird-like foot. Of course, you know, it looks like we'll be seeing the extinction event, the KPG. extinction events where the dinosaurs went extinct at the very end of the late Cretaceous. We see that quite a bit in a lot of dinosaur-centric documentaries. So, hey, look at that.
Nature's greatest.
We got like an Asdarkid up there again, most likely Quetzalcoatlus, and then we have these Edmontosaurs that again have like a much better design than what they had in Life on Our Planet. I love how beefy this one's neck is, and I like how you can really see those large scales. It also has like a fleshy comb. This would be Edmontosaurus annectens, which we don't know for sure if Edmontosaurus annectens had this fleshy comb. So that's mainly speculative, but it looks like some of them don't have it. So I think they're going the sexual dimorphism route, I think, unless we'll see. It does have the proper forelimbs, and it's a little bit outdated now because of the new developments in Edmontosaurus. We've found new mummies that show that it had like a sort of crest on its back, which is interesting.
Empire.
But that's not at the fault of, oh no, all of them have crests. Okay, they just are the fleshy comb. Again, we don't know if Edmontosaurus annectens had that, but it is possible. It certainly is a possibility. Now, this is such an interesting shot right here. We got the Tyrannosaurus, likely the mother that we saw earlier, going up against an Ankylosaurus that looks beautiful. This Ankylosaurus looks fantastic. And like, look at it. The shape of the osteoderms and the placement of them look incredible. And just the whole shape of the animal in general. This is just such a cool shot. Check it out. Ooh, and like the shape of the head looks really good too. But like it looks like it barely missed the mother Tyrannosaur right there. That's really cool. We have no evidence of Tyrannosaurus predating on Ankylosaurus, but obviously the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. T-Rex most likely hunted Ankylosaurus from time to time. Whether or not it went after a full-grown adult, that's a little bit less likely considering the fact that, T-Rex is like, it's just like any predatory dinosaur or predatory animal, really, in the fact that it would go after easier prey. So a younger Ankylosaurus is likely what it would go after. Same with, younger Edmontosaurs, younger Triceratops, all that good stuff. But this will still be really cool. That's not to say that T-Rex never went after an adult Ankylosaurus. It probably did. We just don't really have any evidence for it. But we just don't have evidence of T-Rex eating Ankylosaurus at all right now. Ooh. Okay. So we got like more of like a basal sauropod over here. I think, hold on 1 second. I'm not too sure which one this is. This is earlier on. I want to say around early Jurassic. Or, maybe later Triassic as well. Because what could this be? I'm not too sure. I'm sure that there's like a few options, like maybe Rheogosaurus, possibly, but I don't know if that's exactly what Rheogosaurus looked like, or Rheogosaurus, or something like that. It's a cool spot too. This looks like similar to the spot that they used for the original Walking with Dinosaurs for the Hell Creek Formation, because for some reason, a lot of earlier documentaries made the Hell Creek Formation look like a volcanic area. That's so interesting. If you guys have any idea what this sauropodomorph is, be sure to let me know what your thoughts are. Same with this sauropodomorph over here. Let's keep the discussion going.
The ground.
See, its feet are what's throwing me off. I don't know. Yeah. If you guys have any thoughts, be sure to let me know. We got some pterosaurs here. That kind of looks like it might be Quetzalcoatlus or Hatzegopteryx.
To the hunters.
Possibly. The large crest makes me think of Hatzegopteryx, because that's how Hatzegopteryx is often portrayed. Oh no, there's okay. Yeah, so that's Anchiornis. All right, there's Anchiornis. It's the same design that they used in Life on Our Planet, with more of like a bluish coloration, with like a yellow feathery crest, and a pterosaur is unfortunately nabbing our poor little guy. This initially I thought was possibly Dimorphodon, but my buddy Paleo Pizza said that it also might be Calysteventus, mostly based on like that lower jaw, like how it has this structure right here. I'm not too sure though. It looks great though. I love the way that the light is shining through the membrane over here, and how it's like shining through the pycnofibers. It looks very nice, very detailed. I like that at least. Yeah, see, it's that's what's throwing me off. Initially, again, I thought that it was Dimorphodon, but I think he's right in the fact that it might not be Dimorphodon. But that's not to say that the designs in this show are perfect. I do have some gripes that we'll probably be getting into here in a minute. Oh, okay, there we go. I feel like there's a few possible pterosaurs that this could be. Maybe Ludodactylus or Sierradactylus. Obviously it's a fish-eating pterosaur that has these really long needle-like teeth, especially emphasized towards the front of the snout. Not too entirely sure, but beautiful design, I must say. I love the way that the crest looks. In fact, I'm not too sure if Sierradactylus had a crest, so that might exclude it from the running. The pycnofibers look amazing as well, and just everything, it all looks really good. Like, a lot of these designs are pretty darn solid, but like I said, there's still some that I have some notes about, like right here. So we have a Stegosaurus, which is cool. We don't see a lot of Stegosaurus in modern day documentaries. It doesn't look too bad. Like, it's got the whole shape down at the very least. And the plates are certainly interesting. I like this design going on right here. The Allosaurus is what's currently bugging me. Now, I didn't like the Allosaurus design in Life on Our Planet. This does look like it's a little bit different at the very least. But it does still seem like it has its osteoderms, which don't put osteoderms on theropods. Which I don't know. I've never gotten behind the whole trend of putting osteoderms on theropods, like just any theropods. There's not a lot of theropods that are known to have osteoderms. The biggest example would be Ceratosaurus. And that's what these rows look like right here. I can't tell. I really can't tell if it's the same design. I don't think it is. The one in Life on Our Planet had a smaller head, and I think that might be a little bit more proportional. But again, it still does have the osteoderms. Coloration still is kind of reminiscent to like the Jurassic World Allosaurus. And its proportions are just interesting. I don't know what it is, honestly. I don't know if it's like, maybe it doesn't have enough belly right here. Like, its torso might be a little bit too flat in contrast to these huge hulking legs and these really long arms. Ooh, but that Thagomizer hit, that certainly does it. It does seem like it's going after a younger Stegosaur though, that's cool. That's a little bit more realistic. It's it right there. It might just be the same model, honestly. Interestingly, it looks like this Stegosaurus is missing a little bit of its osteoderm, its plate up here, otherwise known as an osteoderm. Stegosaurs did have osteoderms, at the very least. Allosaurs did not. The Stegosaurus, I quite like it. I think it's quite cool. I like the coloration and the striping that it has. And again, it's just really cool to see Stegosaurus on a screen, which is not something that happens a lot nowadays in documentaries anyway. Obviously, in the Jurassic franchise, they're showing up and they're trying to kill Ben and all that good stuff. So I'm curious. I mean, it's a pterosaur, obviously, but this imagery always reminds me of a lot of Hatzegopteryx imagery, like Hatzegopteryx going after young sauropods on Hatzeg Island. So I'm wondering if that's what we'll be seeing here. Not too entirely sure, but it's food for thought. It's got like a wider beak. That's often how Hatzegopteryx is portrayed. Go, little possible Magyarosaurus or something. Look at these guys, though. These look like little babies. I assume theropods. They got like downy feathers and everything. They're running from some. Yeah, so this might be Triassic period. We got some reptiles over here, and I'm not too sure what these guys are either. There's a lot. It looks like we are getting some relatively obscure things, which is always really exciting to see. I just hope that all of these things get a little bit more of a focus, and it's not going to be the Life on Our Planet method. We have a Pachycephalosaur right here with a very thin tail. That kind of bugs me. But running through a herd of Admonosaurs. So yeah, we are getting some time in Hell Creek Formation. Obviously, there's been quite a few shots that have been, or not necessarily Hell Creek, but North America towards the end of the Cretaceous. Because again, we did see Alamosaurus, and as it currently stands, there's no evidence of Alamosaurus living in the Hell Creek Formation. So it's that portion's likely a little bit more down south where Alamosaurus did live, unless they're being a little bit more speculative with it, which who knows, honestly, they might. That's cool. I like this guy. It's a notosaurid by the looks of it. I could be wrong about that, but an ankylosaurian at the very least. I love this red on the throat it has right here. It kind of looks like it's using that to amplify its noises, which I wonder, could this be Pinacosaurus? I wonder. That'd be interesting. Probably not, but it is an ankylosaurian at the very least. I just love the colors. And surrounded by all these like flowers and everything. Looks pretty nice. Look at that. That's nice CGI right there. Like some CGI looked kind of spotty, but that looks nice. Ooh. What theropod is unfortunately trapped? Is it that? See, I'm not too sure if this is Dilophosaurus. Why does it have a slit pupil? That's interesting. I don't know why a theropod that high off the ground would need a slit pupil, but all right. Yeah, I mean, I could probably look at that as like a critique, but I don't know. I'm not too sure if this is Dilophosaurus. Maybe it's a younger one, but I'm willing to bet it's another early theropod. I'm just not confident enough to say which one specifically. It could very well be Dilophosaurus. Again, maybe it could just be a younger one, but we'll see. March 6th is when this documentary is coming out. We got a lot of basal sauropodomorphs. These might be like Cerosaurus or something. They don't really look like the Plateosaurs to me, but unfortunately they're in a forest fire, which is quite sad. Yeah, so I mean, they could be Plateosaurs maybe. That skull kind of looks like it. But yeah, we're going to be seeing some dinosaur deaths in this, obviously, possibly some extinctions. I don't know if that's what this forest fire entails, but yeah, we're going to be seeing some tragedies. This looks a lot like Hesperornis to me, which is awesome. I like Cretaceous birds. Being chased by likely some type of mosasaur. No! Mosasaur, don't do it! This guy looks cool. Maybe Heterodontosaurus or something like that? Hypsilophodon? It doesn't look like a theropod at the very least. At least that's not what the body proportions and the head shape reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of Heterodontosaurus due to these structures right here. Oh, I don't know. We'll see again. We shall see. Triceratops Edmontosaurus. See, this looks a lot better than the Life on Our Planet one. Kind of it's close to having that sort of crest on its back, but we're not quite there. But again, it does have like the fleshy comb right here. The beak right here, the downturned beak. It's got a lot of bulk, and I love the huge scales on its throat. See, look how thin that Pachycephalosaurus is. That kind of bugs me, but nice colors. I like the colors. Maybe this guy's starving though. Who knows? Even though it's surrounded by food. But anyway, I like the dome on the head and all of that good stuff. Of course, we're just gonna see it, bumping heads in pure Pachycephalosaur fashion. And they do have tiny hands, which, yeah, especially with the discovery of Zavacephaly, seems that Pachycephalosaurs did have pretty small hands. Allosaurus taken down. Another Allosaurus. Oh, okay. It happened so briefly when I was watching the trailer. I thought it was like a Camptosaurus. Because Camptosaurus was decently large. But no, Allosaurus versus Allosaurus, and you can really see the rows of osteoderms. Very crocodilian-like back. I don't like that. It's one of my least favorite things in dinosaur depictions. Just keep the osteoderms off the theropods. This just looks like the Jurassic World Allosaurus in a lot of ways. The crests look cool, though. Oh, look at that little Ankylosaurian. Look at that! With a lily pad on its head. Or her head. We don't know yet. That's adorable. That looks like... That actually might be Heterodontosaurus because of those teeth. Those teeth kind of remind me of Heterodontosaurus. I think that might be what that is. Yeah. I think that might be what that is. Maybe. Don't quote me per se, and I could very well be wrong. But kind of reminds me of it. This looks like Eutyrannus to me. It It looks nice. It looks very, 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 very nice. I love the feathers. I love the patterns in the feathers. The arms look really good. The skull shape looks really great. Like you have a little bit of a nasal ridge right here and some lacrimal crests over here. It's pretty dang nice. And we haven't had a lot of like Tyrannus media in documentaries in recent memory. So that's a fine addition to Tyrannus lore, I guess. It's getting a sauropod. Younger sauropod by the looks of it, but the feathers do look very nice. I like the way that they look. Oh, that was a baby Plateosaur. Yeah, because that's how they I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how they portrayed it in Life on Our Planet. So yeah, we'll be seeing baby Plateosaurs. Some type of bird. It could be Longipteryx or something like that. There's quite a few Mesozoic birds that had some teeth like towards the end of their beak like that. Beautiful though. It kind of looks like it has kingfisher colors, and I will never say no to kingfisher colors. Yeah, it just looks really nice. And again, the colors really remind me of kingfishers. I love kingfishers. Very awesome birds. Very awesome modern day dinosaurs. So I'm excited to see these extinct dinosaurs.
Secret.
See, there's that Stegosaurus, and looks like they're gonna be moving in a little bit of a group. Quite a nice shot. Like, I quite like that. The head looks pretty decent, and the beak looks pretty all right. Yeah, so far so good. Dinosaur, that looks like it might be Quetzalcoatlus, possibly. This is that Mosasaur going after what I think is Hesperornis, but I don't know if I see the teeth. Happens so quick. It looks a lot like a penguin, too. It is a bird that mostly spend time in the water. It's probably Hesperornis, honestly. I don't know which other one it would be. Likely a Mosasaur chasing it. The Mosasaur looks pretty good though. We got another Triceratops. Their Triceratops model, I didn't mention this before, but their model for Triceratops hasn't changed from Life on Our Planet. And yeah, only on Netflix March 6th, so not too far off. So yeah, that was the Dinosaurs. An upcoming documentary that will be released on March 6th. I am currently cautiously optimistic about this documentary. I never want to be pessimistic about a dinosaur related thing. I don't know if you've noticed that from my content. Like I usually try to be excited more so than dreading the release of something, whether it be like Jurassic World related content or documentaries. I reviewed Life on Our Planet like all the way at the beginning of this channel, so it's been a while. And I remember having mixed feelings about it. And a lot of that boiled down to just how they advertised the documentary and how it actually was, like in the comparison between those two. They advertised it like they would be, traveling through time, starting all the way in the beginning of life, and then you'll be going through all the way up until the modern day. That's the impression I got from the trailer. And, maybe I was kind of dumb for getting that impression, but that's obviously not what happened in the documentary. In the documentary, you get like everything's kind of like disorganized, and you spend some time with creatures in the past, but then it constantly cuts to the future. And, that's not bad per se. Like I still found a lot of enjoyment out of the documentary. I liked a lot of the modern day segments, like the snow leopard, which was depressing, the jumping spiders. There was a lot of cool stuff about the documentary. I just felt a little I just felt like the trailer didn't really do enough to emphasize the fact that you weren't going to be seeing a sort of walking with dinosaurs into walking with beasts and walking with monsters type thing. This, again, they're only showing us CGI shots of these animals. And that leads me to believe that we're going to be getting a Prehistoric Planet style documentary or a Walking with Dinosaurs style documentary. And again, I don't know if that's what they're going to do. I hope that's what they're going to do. Because honestly, there's a better chance that that's what they're going to do now, because maybe they took the criticisms that they got from Life on Our Planet and made some changes here. Like the change in the design for the Edmontosaurus kind of it kind of helps support that too. So we'll see. I'm, again, cautiously optimistic. I'm going to talk about this documentary when it does release. It's going to be a series, obviously. So maybe I'll do like one review per episode, the same way that I did for Prehistoric Planet Ice Age. Be sure to let me know what you guys think of this documentary, this trailer so far. Are you excited? Are you cautiously optimistic? Or are you not excited. Be sure to let me know. What is this hair doing? And yeah, there was a lot of creatures that I was unable to identify on the spot. So if you have any ideas of what some of those critters are, be sure to let me know. I'm sure that some of their names are going to pop in my head later on, because that's always what happens. Like after I post the video, I'll be sitting there and think, oh shoot, I know what that was now. It's always so frustrating. But yeah, be sure to let me know in the comments what you think some of those creatures are, or maybe they already released a list and I sound like an idiot. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, have an awesome day.